Off the northern coast of Sicily, in the Tyrrhenian Sea, lies the volcanic archipelago of the Aeolian Islands. Here lives one of the most threatened European vertebrates, the Aeolian wall lizard, Podarcis raffonei. Only 4 known populations survive today on 3 tiny islets and a small promontory of Vulcano. But it is believed that the Aeolian wall lizard once inhabited all the islands of the archipelago and was confined to its current distribution by habitat loss and degradation and by the entropic introduction of a highly competitive species, the Italian wall lizard Podarcis siculus. Not too long ago, the Aeolian wall lizard was distributed all across the island, while today only Podarcis siculus and hybrid individuals can be found, making the small promontory of Capo Grosso the last bastion for Podarcis raffonei on Vulcano Island. Capo Grosso, found in the northwestern side of Vulcano, is connected to the mainland by a partially disjointed isthmus, which is probably what protected this population from the invasion of Podarcis siculus. But in recent years, lizards presenting an intermediate phenotype between the 2 sympatric species have been described on the Cape, threatening the genetic integrity of this population. The 4 populations of Podarcis raffonei portray peculiar morphological traits from one island to the other. The lizards of Scoglio Farallone are characterized by a grayish-brown dorsal collar and bright blue spots on the sides. By placing pitfall traps across the islet, we were able to estimate the population's abundance and collect data on the captured individuals. A proposal for the institution of the National Park of the Aeolian Islands was submitted in 2007, but the responsible administrations have failed to bring this project to life, leaving regional protected areas and Natura 2000 sites as the only means of safeguard for these islands. Absurdly, Scoglio Farallone was not included in the natural reserve of the island of Salina, showing how impellant the creation of a national park truly is. In the 1920s, when the species had not yet been described, the summit of the Strombolicchio rock was destroyed to build a lighthouse. Thankfully, today, the islet is fully protected by regional laws. These animals are characterized by a dark even coloration and a larger size compared to the other subspecies. As for Scoglio Farallone, demographic information about this population was long overdue. The different populations' abundances were estimated by using both distance sampling and capture marker capture. Our analysis revealed that the number of individuals has decreased since the last surveys. The captured lizards were sexed, measured for their snout length, weighed, photographed, and tissue samples were taken for genetic analysis. All these data have been used to assess demographic and ecological information vital to the development of strong conservation strategies. We planned to remove the invasive lizards from suitable islets, where a reintroduction of captive-bred Aeolian wall lizards would produce a boost in the number of populations and distribution range of this threatened endemic species. The feasibility of the eradication project was tested on the satellite islets of Panarea. We evaluated the efficiency of using pitfall traps for the capture of the individuals, which turned out to be a cheap, quick, and ethical means to capture the lizards that can therefore be translocated on other islands and not necessarily killed. By using drone images, we characterized the habitat from a geomorphologic and vegetation point of view to identify which islet could be best suited for the reintroduction of Podarcis raffonei. An ex-situ conservation project headed by the Department of Sciences Roma III University and the Fondazione Bioparco di Roma is already in place. 46 individuals are kept at specifically built facilities of the reptile house at the Bioparco. The enclosures, with sand as substrate, are enriched with shelters, basking sites, and spontaneous vegetation to recreate proper conditions. After being separated for quarantine, the lizards were allowed to mingle, and in spring, a few hatchlings finally emerged from the sand, showing that captive breeding represents a true possibility for the survival of this species.